Lean back because the front two rows may get wet. We're talking about Arien the Tidemaster from Guards of Atlantis today. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Optimal Play. We're back for, I think this is part 5 of our theoretically 22 and eventually 32 part series.
Theoretically. Definitely 32 parts.
Okay, we've committed.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, we need to play a lot more Guards of Atlantis.
A lot more Guards of Atlantis.
Get
but that's the whole reason that I'm doing these. Is to force you to play more Guards of Atlantis.
Oh, it's gonna work.
Great, excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here. We're gonna go through Arien's cards. I am saying that word carefully. We're gonna go through the cards, talk about our thoughts and strategies when you're playing as the Tidemaster, and then we'd encourage you to let us know in the comments how your thoughts compare to ours. We're not experts. We're just fans. And well, you're an expert.
No, I'm not. I feel like at this point we've played almost an equal number of games.
Potentially, yeah. I have been leaving you out a lot.
You've been leaving me out, yeah.
So yeah, let us know in the comments. And hey, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button while you're down there. It's the only way to support Optimal Play, so we'd appreciate it if you did.
Please do.
With that, want to introduce us to the story of the Tidemaster?
I sure will. When Arien's war galley was ambushed and destroyed by an unknown vessel, he blamed himself for the loss of the crew. He now offers his blade and his knowledge of the arcane to anyone who can help him find his nemesis.
Oh, so he's not like a merman or he doesn't live in the sea. He had a ship.
He had a ship. Yeah, this art, I guess his armor is just also fish scale colored. Is that accurate to say? I mean, I guess it's more blue than green, but it is very scaly in certain parts. I always thought of him as being a fish man.
It definitely, he has like one with the sea energy.
He sure does. Yeah, and a lot of his powers are sea focused, but you know, I guess that makes sense for a captain. He's got very high attack stat.
Yes.
And then middling everything else except low initiator, which again we don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And then short range, mobility, and anti-skill tags.
Okay. Oh, more anti-skill.
More anti-skill.
Like Wasp.
Like Wasp.
And she's real. She hates those skills.
She hates those skills.
So we'll see. Great. We'll see how he compares. Any high level thoughts before we dive in? Have you played much?
I've played, I think, 2 games.
Okay.
As the Tidemaster, and yeah, I found him situational. I think, but I think he's a cool character. He has a lot of manipulation of location, pushes, pulls, sorts of things. And maybe he's the most developed in that area of the 1-star characters. That might be accurate to say. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think I've just played with him once, and I've played it in more games than that where someone was playing with him. Mm-hmm. But I think the only ability of his that I could name off the top of my head is his red attack that he wants to do a melee attack, but line it up so there's also a hero in a straight line behind his target.
That's right.
Because it like splashes back. I'm imagining, I can't remember what the flavor of the ability is, but it's like a tidal wave that goes over the target and anything behind it.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool little goal to like line up those hits, even if you're lucky to pull it off once per game.
Yeah, difficult to line up, but cool. Easy to play against, really. But
Exactly. Well, so he starts off with his noble blade. We were talking about how 3 attack on a basic attack felt like a lot. This has 11 initiative, 2 defense, 1 boot, and 4 attack power.
Wow. On
his gold card.
I completely forgot that he had a 4 basic.
Yeah.
That's really strong.
Well, so he's earning his full attack.
He's earning his 4 attack.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. That's right.
So this says target a unit adjacent to you. Before that attack, you may move another unit that is adjacent to the target 1 space. And then it specifies parenthetically here, another unit does not include you.
Okay.
So I think that moving another unit adjacent to your target 1 space, that's a real minor add-on to this ability. The gold card with 4 attack seems to be the headline here to me.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, could you use it to take away 1 defense modifier if you're attacking a hero with that?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's before the attack, so you could move a minion that is friendly to the target away. Yeah, right. Making it an even more powerful attack.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that seems strong.
That's probably how I would use it, or else to walk someone into a trap or something else like that.
Right. Yeah. But it couldn't be your target. So if you're wanting to move a hero into Brogan's charge or into a trap or something, you would need to either be targeting a different hero next to that hero or a minion next to that hero.
Right.
That's all. It seems pretty niche. I think the attacking for 4 here is what's memorable about this.
Yeah, you may be right. I'm just comparing this to like Wasp's blue cards that rotate heroes around.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much more powerful because you can move them in any direction, and that is inherently,
That's true.
so much more flexible. And position matters so much in this game. I bet you can find good uses for that. It's not super important, but I don't know if it's as niche as all that.
Okay. Yeah. I just feel like I have almost never seen this match.
Okay, that's fair.
In practice.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's the silver card?
Spell Break. 12 initiative, 3 defense, 2 radius. This turn, enemy heroes in radius cannot perform skills. So this is a skill, a silver skill cancel. Again, this is going to depend a lot on how important your opponent's skills are to them, but they're bound to have some important skills.
Yeah.
If you can time this right and stop them from, a key action, it can be valuable. This is one of the cards that really demands that you know your opponents well. Not just their characters and how they function, but also, when is Brandon going to play that all-important green card that I can block?
Yeah. It's fast initiative, but only this turn. So
Right.
you have to line it up. You need to predict. It's not like, I see that they played a skill, let me line this up so that it prevents it. You need to have predicted it.
Exactly.
And that's going to really depend on your skill at the game and your opponent's characters and all of that.
Right.
I think overall, I think we've made several comparisons to Wasp because I think probably Arien and Wasp are maybe the 2 most similar 1-star characters to one another. Because they both have that the skill cancellation. They both have a lot of moving enemy players, that kind of stuff. So I think we may be comparing them quite a bit. I think Wasp's silver card, which is kind of similar also, where it's a fast speed that does some control and radius. I think that's just more universally useful though. I think
this could cancel that.
That's true.
Yeah.
This does trump her static barrier. But at that point you've already gone. So she wasn't going to keep you from moving anyway.
That's true.
So it only affects your team.
You're right. I actually think. I don't know. I'm not sure that's better than this.
Really, I was gonna say that was my take. That was my conclusion. There is I think that's better than this. But...
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at the myriad of potential skill effects, especially as you get to level 3 green cards, level 3 blue cards, just canceling them out of hand is probably pretty strong. I imagine that actually Wasp silver card is stronger in the early game, especially in between these early pushes, when momentum matters a lot. But in the very end of the game, when you're in a scrum and you need to get a final minion kill or a final hero kill, I'd rather have this card that lets me cancel something someone's trying to do.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Yeah. My last thought here is canceling a skill or making it so they can't resolve skills usually will leave them with a boot that they can just do. They can pivot and do something else.
That's true.
Whereas blocking their movement, assuming that what they were planning to do was move, resolving the text of their boot card is a lot less likely to be something that helps them that they care about.
Interesting.
So I think that this leaves them with options in a way that Wasp may not.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well then, and here's the card that I was here, let me just read his red card.
Read it.
I was gonna say this is the card I was talking about, then I'm doubting it. Here, let's see what it says.
We're riveted with you. We're gonna learn together. Yeah, here we go.
It's an 8 initiative, 3 defense, 4 boot, ranged attack, but has a range of 1. It attacks for 4 strength, says target unit in range. After the attack, push up to 1 token or an enemy unit adjacent to you 1 space. So this is not... I thought that this was going to be what I was talking about, where you're lining up the shot, but I think that's his alternative upgrade reds.
Okay, so it doesn't push?
Yeah, so after the attack, push 1 token or an enemy unit adjacent to you 1 space. So this might... So since it's range 1, it's until you upgrade his range, basically a melee attack. So a lot of the time who you push might be your target in the first place. But it also could be, especially once his range is upgraded, it could be a ranged target over there and push something else adjacent to you away.
Right. Could also be if you can get your red card in before an opponent's red card and they were going to target you.
Yes.
You can actually just kill a minion or something else next to you and then push them away, effectively nullifying their red card. Rather than attacking them and then letting their red card come through on you.
Well, this doesn't... You can push the thing that you targeted.
Oh, you can?
I think so. This doesn't say push another thing.
You're right. I'm so silly.
The Noble Blade worked that way, where it had to be something different.
That's what it was.
This gush of water, so you can hit them and
in fact, I've been a
them.
victim of that, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to play it on the same turn as your opponent's red card.
Yeah,
attack them and then push them.
There might, if you have a minion available to attack, you still might sometimes want to hit the minion and get that gold, and then push the hero.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a kind of a strategy to kill the hero that round, you still might just want the gold. But so it's nice to have that option.
Right.
But I agree that a lot of the time, what this is it's basically it's a melee attack for 4 and a 1-space push.
And a 1-space push, yeah.
Yeah, which is fine.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
So the starting blue card here is Aspiring Duelist with 9 initiative, 3 movement, 5 defense, and this is a defense card. Ignore all minion defense modifiers. This includes your minions and your opponent's minions. So, yeah, it's kind of a difficult thing. I mean, maybe this is a great card against when you're paired with Dodger, who's removing all of your friendly minions. To the extent they're doing that, then
Sure.
you know.
It's also good against it's Zargatha, right? Who has a skill that she plays almost every round that counts all minions in her favor.
That's right. Very good against Sargatha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm moving to your pronunciation here.
Yeah,
I always thought it was Zargatha, but I guess it's
that's how I started saying it at first. And then at one point, I think I was playing like Marvel Snap or something, and Agatha from the Marvel universe is in that game, and I was like, oh, Agatha and Zargatha potentially are pronounced a lot alike, right?
It's funny that that's how you got to it.
Yeah, it is.
That's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
Cool. But anyway.
Yeah. So this is only 5 defense. So when you compare it against some of the stronger defense cards, especially cards that are dedicated to defense, they'll often be a straight cancel of either ranged or melee attacks.
Yeah.
Or as we saw in the previous video, like a 10 strength defense situationally. This is just a flat 5.
That said, I think in the early game when everyone's on their tier 1 cards, 5 is fine. It's pretty rare to be hit for like 6 or 7 round 2.
Yeah.
Not unheard of. But
depends on if you're going against Brogan or.
Yeah. So we'll look at those upgrades, and I'm guessing that we'll get to higher amounts if you keep the defense card line. I've got to think it gets better because that's not very good for a defense card.
Stick with us to find out.
Oh yeah, coming soon in 5 to 7 minutes.
Here we go.
But for now, we've got Waveform.
Okay.
It's his green card. It's a 4 initiative, 3 defense, 2 movement. It's a ranged skill. Place yourself into a space in range without a spawn point and not adjacent to an empty spawn point. This is weird. Right? Like, in a lot of ways, it's text, which moves you within 2 range. In a lot of ways, it's worse than 2 boots. Right? Because it has all these limits about where you can't place yourself.
The value is in going across obstacle borders.
Yes. Yeah, you can jump over things that would have taken a lot more than 2 movement to get around. But you can't do it if it would land you adjacent to a spawn point or in a spawn point.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird... The not adjacent to an empty spawn point thing is like a weird... I don't know what the flavor of that is. I don't know. Yeah. It makes the card feel so weak. It's a strange design to me.
I feel like when I think of this card, I think specifically of the forest blocked corner of one of the battle zones where there's like a 1 space border and then there's another minion there that's an enemy minion.
Yeah.
And so you have to work with your teammate if you just died and you need to get back quickly or you're trying to break in some way. You need to make sure that minion's still alive, so there's not an empty spawn point, so you can get across the border.
I'm pretty sure you're demonstrating with your hands out here so far out that it's not in the shot.
You know what? Even if it were in the shot, it would be worthless.
I wasn't going to say that, but I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Worthless like this card.
Right. Yeah. There you go. No, I don't know about that. We'll see. I mean, that's a very situational use case, but going across that one border, and if you look at a picture of the map, you'll know what I'm talking about, is strong. Because anyway, I think it could be worse.
Yeah, it can jump you to the other side of an enemy hero or something too, maybe. But To what end?
Yeah.
Why you would want to do that in the early game when you have this tier 1 card?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know what? It is also a move too. So if you want to just use it
Yeah.
as a move too,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think most of the time this is the card I don't. This is the 5th card.
Okay,
His
that's
first
fair.
few rounds.
That's fair.
I don't think that this is very very useful. It's 3 defense though, so it's all right to block a gold attack or something.
right. So we're moving into the red upgrades.
I think we are.
So the original red was
That was Gush of Water. That's the 1 range and then push an adjacent anything.
okay. And so I like that the art on these gets like further and further away.
Yeah, it like zooms out.
Like zooms out.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. So the level 2 of the straight branch is High Tide, which is an 8 initiative, 4 defense, 4 movement card. It's a ranged attack with 5 attack and 2 range. Target a unit in range. After the attack, push up to 1 token or an enemy unit adjacent to you 1 space. And so I think the big upgrades here are 1 additional defense and 1 additional range.
Yeah, and 1 more attack, but I think the range is the headline here,
And 1
right?
additional attack.
Like this becomes an actual ranged attack,
Right, right.
but then it's still just push adjacent to you. Is that right?
Push 1 thing adjacent to you.
And I'm
yes.
sorry, I'm jumping in before you've read the other card.
Right. So Rogue Wave is the level 3, 9 initiative, 4 defense, 4 movement, 5 attack, 2 range. So the exact same stat line except 1 additional initiative over High Tide. And it says target a unit in range. After the attack, move the target up to 1 space, and then push up to 1 token or an enemy unit adjacent to you 1 space.
Now it's feeling pretty powerful.
Yeah, pushing the target 1 space or moving the target 1 space in any direction is actually even stronger than a push.
Right.
Moving the target in any direction is very strong, especially if you're playing, again, we keep talking about these like trap heroes, but also if you're playing with Cutter, for instance, who needs a straight line path, something like that.
Yep.
That can be quite strong.
Yeah, I think that card feels great. It does moving the target only matters if you're targeting a hero, but then again, you're probably using your tier 3 red card mostly to target heroes.
Yep. And these come with initiative, each of them.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you get a little fun. So when you get up to here, this is 11. You know, it's not terrible. All right. So the branch is Violent Torrent and Raging Water. So Violent Torrent is level 2, 8 initiative, 7 defense, 4 movement, 7 attack, but not ranged, melee. Target a unit adjacent to you. Before the attack, 1 enemy hero in any of the 3 spaces in a straight line directly behind the target discards a card or is defeated. And or is defeated text on a level 2 card is rare.
Yeah.
That shows you how hard it is to line up.
Yeah.
Because it adds that little modifier. And Raging Waters says the exact same thing, except 1 enemy hero in any of the 5 spaces in a straight line directly behind the target discards a card or is defeated, may repeat once on a different target. So if you can line up multiple heroes behind your victim.
And is that repeating the whole attack or just it's repeating just the splash behind them?
You know, I think it's just the splash.
Okay.
But
that would make sense.
that is, yeah, I think it's just splash. Because then it says before the attack, do this effect. And then
Okay.
Yeah. And those come with, the level 2 upgrade comes with the defense. The level 3 upgrade comes with an extra move.
That's his movement upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you grew up in California also? Did you ever go to Raging Waters, the
have been to
water
Raging
park
Waters.
in Northern California? It's in
Yes.
Concord or something up there.
Yeah,
That's all I could think of when I hear the name of that card.
that's funny.
I'm sure that Raging Waters is just a phrase that both of that card and the water park are both named after.
I'm sure that's right. I don't think this game, which was designed by an Eastern European, is referencing the water park in Concord, California.
Northern California. But maybe.
But maybe. Who knows?
I think these cards are super.
Comment, Artie.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know, yeah.
I think the ability on these cards is super fun, and it can be something that you take advantage of, that your opponents have to keep playing around it, making sure that they don't line up with each other, essentially.
Yeah.
Like your opposing heroes don't want to be in a line with one another.
Right.
Although you're not going to move if you're doing this, so they really just don't want to all be lined up also with you. It's not that hard to play around, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
I mean, if you can play a very slow green card at the end of your previous turn, and they end their turn in a line,
That's
and
true.
you've played green, you can
Yeah.
go next to them and then try and get your attack in early. I mean, as long as they don't have a card that can move in front of you.
Or if you have Wasp or someone move you in an orbit around her in a way that perfectly lines it up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Yeah, let us know if you've I don't know. It's so hard to do anything with that Wasp card that I just love being like, but that's the card.
That's
that
the
makes
card
this
that'll
good.
do it. Yeah, yeah. I think either Cutter or Bane has a grappling hook that can also be used on friendly units. So maybe they grappling hook you in to the right position. I don't know. That's probably pretty rare.
Probably. But the other thing about those cards, though, is that they have, even the level 2 card has 7 attack.
Yes.
Which means if you've got a couple attack items, like you're attacking for a basic 9 pretty easily
Right.
if you take a couple attack upgrades. So that's, to me, that's actually the best thing about this, even though the text is fun. You're just smashing things for easily 8, 9, 10 attack.
Right.
And forcing them to deal with that round after round.
That attack stat feels very
Yep.
earned. But yeah, that's a good point. Who cares if you're discarding a card if you're attacking for 10 and no
Yeah.
one can defend against it anyway?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that I think is the main reason to take that. Don't let yourself get too obsessed with lining up that attack.
That's fair.
His blue cards. Let's see. We started with, what was the blue card again?
It was Aspiring Duelist.
Okay, so surely the linear upgrades to that are Expert Duelist and Master Duelist. They're both defense cards. Expert Duelists, actually they both have 10 initiative, 3 movement, 6 defense. Expert Duelist says, ignore all minion defense modifiers. This turn, you're immune to all other enemy attack actions.
Oh, that's incredible.
And then Master Duelist says, ignore all minion defense modifiers. This turn, you're immune to all other enemy actions. You just don't get affected by anything the enemies are doing that turn.
That seems good, but I feel like the level 2 is strong enough. You know what I mean? I would not be anxious to take the level 3.
I agree. If you have Expert Duelist, you can put off your blue upgrade to last because Expert Duelist is just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even consider then zagging over
Zagging over,
to the
yeah.
other option.
Right.
And more good news about these cards, which I think are solid cards. They each come with an attack item.
Nice.
So they go well with your 7 attack.
Right. Get it up to 9.
Get it up to where some characters just flat out will have no choice but to die.
Right. Right.
Just an all around.
It seems
just
good.
Just an all around solid, but not incredible defense card.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
And then alternatively, he could take Slippery Ground, which is a 10 initiative, 6 defense. So it actually has the same amount of defense on it as the defense card.
Right.
But 6 defense, 3 movement, area skill that says this turn enemies in radius cannot move more than 1 space with a movement action. And Deluge says has the exact same stats and says this turn and next turn enemies in radius cannot move more than 1 space with a movement action.
Yeah.
It
So I want to
seems-
say those cards actually seem strong. I know we keep going back to Wasp, but those cards seem stronger than Wasp's silver card because the silver card is more situational. Here
Yeah.
it's like move 1 or 2. That can really hurt.
I agree. And then Deluge lasting 2 turns.
Deluge lasting 2 turns. Yeah, if you get a deluge off right as the push happens, they're wasting like half their round. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Plus, you can just run away. Like you can leave after that.
I just, you're mentioning Wasp's static barrier made me realize that Waveform, the card that I said was fairly useless, can get you through that barrier because you're placing yourself in a space within range.
There you go.
Never mind, that card's great.
There you go.
I take it all back.
There you go.
I also think Deluge and Slippery Ground are great. The one thing is they come with a defense and then a ranged upgrade. The range upgrade, wait,
You
no,
probably wanna
he
take
oh
that
yeah. So he does have
with,
the ranged red cards.
Right.
Yep.
The straight line red.
Is that all? Oh, and I guess it upgrades his green cards that place him in a space. It makes their range larger. So okay, so the range upgrade is pretty good for him.
Right.
But I still think the way I want to play Arien is with those
7
huge attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And take these attack items here.
I feel like I might like to try the trickier Arien with the the range upgrade and
Yeah.
using waveform and all those effects. That might be fun.
Well, remember you don't commit to an entire line here, right? You
Right.
can get the attack item, take Expert Duelist as your tier 2, but then take the range upgrade and take Deluge as your tier 3. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do every time. That sounds
Okay.
great.
That sounds great.
That
does
sounds
sound good.
amazing.
That does sound good. All right, so speaking of waveform and its upgrades,
Mm-hmm.
we have, actually it's these, we have Magical Current and Stranger Tide. Magical Current is the level 2 with 4 initiative, 3 defense, 2 movement, and it's a ranged skill with 3 range. Place yourself into a space in range without a spawn point and not adjacent to an empty spawn point. Excuse me. And that would come with an attack upgrade. And then we've got Stranger Tide, which is 3 initiative, 4 defense, 2 movement, range skill, 3 range. Place yourself into a space in range without a spawn point. So it drops that empty spawn point modifier.
I think that's huge.
That is huge. It makes the card a lot more flexible. That one also comes with a radius boost, which will affect the spell break card.
Yeah, and the slippery ground and deluge that limit their movement.
Okay, excellent. And what's interesting here is we're again seeing the initiative drop on the greens.
Yeah, maybe this is more of a trend on green cards than I had realized.
Yeah, because you want one card that you can say, okay, I'm going to go last and move 2 and get into position.
Yeah, and then this is another good one for going last, right? Because it's essentially a teleport. It's great for setting you up to then play a fast attack at the start of the next round.
Right, very true. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what cards I would take with this. I think it would hinge heavily on this radius upgrade. So you'd have to take the blue deluge card.
I think that's the build, right? Is you're taking the really powerful attack, and then limiting their movement so they can't get away from your really powerful attack with Deluge and Slippery Ground. And if they do get away, you have this teleport to get it lined back up again.
That makes sense.
The one thing that I would really like, what was his speed on his red cards? 8 and 9?
8 and 9.
I would really like to find some initiative upgrades to go with that slow teleport and then fast attack strategy.
So maybe you take the alternative green for level 2, which will give you an initiative bump, and then on level 3 go back to the straight line.
Yeah, and there were no initiative options on his blue upgrades. I don't know about his red.
His red, the super powerful attacks, if you don't take them, come with initiative.
Okay. Yeah, so it's tough. Surely by design, tough to take his insanely powerful attack and be speedy doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, surely by design. That's right. Okay, so the branch on the green upgrades are Arcane Swap and Empowered Swap. 4 initiative, 3 defense, 4 defense, 2 move, 2 move. So the same stat bars as the straight line upgrades. And these are also skills with 3 range, so all the same there as well.
Wow.
The difference is, instead of placing yourself into a space in range, you swap with a minion or a friendly hero in range. So and you swap with a unit or a token. So here you have to pick a friendly hero or any minion. Here you can pick an enemy hero or a token as well. For purposes of your swap, and these come with initiative and defense.
Being able to swap, I've played with this card. It's the slow makes it easy for opponents to play around because they know that you could potentially swap with them. But if you land, especially if you've upgraded his range, if at 4 range you land a swap with a hero, say you're kind of racing to a new battle zone after a push, and suddenly you swap places with them, basically shifting the tides of yours and that hero's kind of race to the battle zone by 8 spaces.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. I can also imagine you're playing with a slow hero as a teammate who has big attacks, and you want to swap with them. You're next to your partner. You want to swap your hero with their hero to set up your buddy for an attack.
Yeah, and so the first green cards we talked about are, since they teleport him, they're great for setting up his attacks. This lets you also set up your allies for attacks by swapping them next to, maybe you play your red card first. They use their, defense that doesn't even have a number on it. That you knew they were going to be able to block it, but then you swap places with your teammates so that they can unload their attacks, something like that.
Yeah, that's cool too. I like that a lot, yeah.
And also just, this is another one that I think I talked about this with, again, another comparison to Wasp. She's the one who can teleport a unit adjacent to her, right?
Right.
It's great. Play this partway through a round when the enemy team is targeting your teammate. They've already had to discard twice. Swap with them. All of a sudden, you're in the middle of the fight with your
that's a great use.
Fresh health, and they're safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great use of it. I'm more excited to play as this character again.
Yeah.
After going through these cards. I mean, we still have to see the ultimate, but I love the idea of, I think in this game, positioning matters so much. And this character having a lot of power and sway over positioning is very cool.
It is. His ultimate's a weird one. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Living Tsunami. As with any ultimate, this is an ability that will be always on after once you reach level 8. After you perform a basic skill, you may trigger a minion battle in the zone you're in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That combines well with Brogan's, right? Because you can quickly push.
Brogan counts as 2 minions in minion battle. Yeah, right. That's true.
So you trigger it.
That's
yeah.
Okay. So all you got to do is get Arien and Brogan both to their ultimates.
There you go. You probably won,
and you probably win the push game. Yeah, that's if you can keep the minion count ahead for your team. This you can trigger. You can have there be 3 minion battles per round instead of 1 because both of your basic. Basic skill, not basic card. So it's only your silver card.
Only your silver card.
That is a pretty common feature in these ultimates. Is that what they actually do is they essentially add text to your silver card.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the silver card is sort of like the weakest in some ways, like the most situational card anyway.
It's certainly not. Well, I was gonna say it's not the one that's attacking heroes and stuff. I guess you do see some potential discards on silvers, like with Dodger, but. It definitely takes something that you may be the card you don't play a lot of rounds and makes the card you will play every round.
This feels like actually maybe the hardest to use ultimate of the ones we've seen so far because it demands that you're going the push route to really make it valuable.
Yep. Where I was saying that something like I think it was Wasp that it just is like whenever you play your basic skill, someone discards a card.
Yeah,
like, it's just great. It's just brainless. Just like I'm just wearing you down by existing now.
Right.
This one really you have to figure out how to make it work. Decide when to trigger it. All that stuff. Yeah, it's a tricky one, but potentially very cool and could really, I was going to say a couple turns before the end of the game. It's only the end of the game if this works, but if you can set up something where you like push from the middle toward the enemy base, kill 2 minions and then use this to trigger like 2 back-to-back battles or something, like all of a sudden you can just push to win like before they know what hit them.
Yeah.
While they're still on the other side of the middle zone or something.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is
cool.
I think this is an ultimate that may not even matter if you get it, but can do some really game closing stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. Yeah, he's a really neat character, and I think he's also a good one to give a new player who just is like. You want to play this character? You just want to fight people. You just want to hit hard. Like he's the one for you. You just attack for 9 and kill people.
I think this is a great game 2 character. You give someone Brogan, and then you show them how annoying you could be by moving out of the way of Brogan's attacks. Then you give them Arien and say, "Hey, now you can move me out of the way of everything I want to do."
Sure. Sure.
And like show them how important positioning is.
Yeah, I still agree that Brogan is probably like the single best learning character.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got just really straightforward examples of like the way cards work and the way what it means that you have to do everything on a card, but then that your opponents can play around them in pretty clear ways.
Yeah, he's a treatise on the design of the game.
Yeah.
100%.
But we got to find some other characters that you would give to new players. I think you
poo-pooed
poo-pooed several of these.
I don't mean to. Basically, you just need to buy 4 copies of this game and have 4 Brogans.
There we go.
Everyone can play Brogan in the first match.
I guess that in theory would work, right? It would not break the game if everyone was playing the same character. You would just need to spend $1,200 on Guards of Atlantis.
And it would be boring, yeah.
Yeah, it would be a little boring, yeah. Well, there are online tools to play Guards of Atlantis. I wonder if any of them allow you to do that, to have multiple people play the same.
Definitely, use copy-paste stuff in Tabletop Simulator.
In Tabletop Simulator, sure. I was there is, I don't know the name of the site. There is Tabletopia has like a limited selection of characters, but there's just a browser-based tool for this where it's not in 3D. Like it's a really it's not trying to it doesn't have a physics engine, right? It's not trying to give you the I'm sitting at a table experience. It's just you're playing Guards of Atlantis in a browser.
I want to find that and use
I'm pretty sure it was linked to in the crowdfund campaign. Like I think it's like endorsed by, I don't know if it's made by Wolf Designer or if it's just acknowledged and endorsed by them, but Hopefully it's at least endorsed by them, and I'm not like advocating piracy here.
Yeah, I hope so.
But too late. I've advocated it.
There you go. And I'm certainly going to check it out. So you've spread a little bit of piracy in the world.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
That I mentioned that sometimes when I talk about this is a complete tangent, but
Sure.
I think this game is best played at a pretty good pace, and one of the things that you can do in that browser-based version of this game is set turn timers, and the absolute maximum that it will let you set turn planning phase length to is 120 seconds. So 2 minutes absolute max. I think is a good guideline. It's like you should be having that conversation you want to have with your team, making your move, locking it in within 2 minutes. I think that's the pace that I like it at the table too.
That's great. Does it play at 4 and 6 and 8 and 10, or is it just 4 players?
I think it at least had 6. I don't know if it had more.
Have you played on it?
I've poked around on it. I have not played an actual game. I was curious too, not that this would be the best way to play Guards of Atlantis at all, but it would be a way for like you and I to get in some more hands-on with some of these heroes. I was curious whether you could two-hand in that.
Interesting.
Like assign 2 seats to yourself, and I didn't see a way to do that either. Meaning we would need to, if we were going to play on there, we would need to find 2 more people, or maybe you can game it by like having 2 different, like have a Chrome and a Firefox window open or something like that. But
yeah, that's funny.
That seems like a lot. I would rather do it without having to toggle between windows.
Yeah, I do want to say that side sounds worth checking out, but playing this game in person is so fun.
Oh yeah,
and so I would definitely recommend an in-person experience.
Yeah, I mean it's got the poker style bluffing and trash talk. And
exactly.
all that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I feel that way with most board games. Like during the pandemic, I played a lot of Tabletop Simulator, as I'm guessing you did, and a lot of board gamers did. But as soon as we were pretty much back to playing games in person, like I dropped. Like Steam shows that I haven't logged into Tabletop Simulator in like 13 months now.
Yeah,
like,
I also have not
completely abandoned it because it's just not nearly as fun and satisfying for me.
Yeah, I mean, if we're giving general recommendations, I would recommend the browser-based things over Tabletop Simulator personally, because they like run all the accounting for you and they don't add time to the game like Board Game Arena.
Does Tabletopia automate some of?
I don't know. I've never really used it.
Yeah, me neither.
Board Game Arena is the place to go. But yeah, playing in person is way better, and in any case, you should still patronize Wolf Design it.
Well, thank you. that is for sure. I think that late backing is still open on this, by the way. If you are for some reason watching our your 5 videos in to our Guards of Atlantis character deep dives, and you don't own or haven't played the game yourself, I think you can still get it. Because I'm pretty sure that at least one of my friends who's played it with me has gone and ordered himself a copy. Because it's an excellent game.
More copies in the group.
Turns
out.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, more copies in the group doesn't help us play it more. We have it.
It would help us if we wanted to run tournaments. I've been thinking about this.
Wow, that's ambitious. Yeah, I like it. I'd be in.
Yeah, I know you'd be in. Yeah. Okay.
It would be okay.
You'd have like a team. Like it'd be you and one other player, and you'd do rounds of 8, and there'd be like multiple sets of characters to draft from. But you would play as like a set of 2. I don't know.
All right, let's get 18 players.
That's right.
So 3 tables of 3-on-3, right?
Sure.
And then you start the tournament with 1 big draft, so no 2 people are the same hero.
Oof. So everyone has to be ready to play level 3 characters. That's 18 experienced players.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
We just gotta teach a couple more friends.
Yeah. We're on our way.
Yeah. All right.
If you want to join us for this tournament, let us know.
And let us know what you thought of our correct opinions on Arien. I think this video was full of them. We did great.
We did great.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yet another one.
There we go.
where I think I've been. I don't know why I started the sentence, but I'll finish it. I think now that we've recorded 5, I'll start releasing them.
Great. Excellent. I can't wait to see them. Actually, I probably won't rewatch them. I mean, I guess
you've already seen it.
I've seen it.
You've seen it from a different point of view. But
If this is the first one you're watching, they're all great. Go check them out.
That's true. It's true. I was going to say, so if you comment, like if you've commented on any of the previous 4 videos, we haven't actually seen those comments before this one. Now, if you comment, so if you comment, no. We should have recorded.
Don't give this instruction.
We should have recorded. Never mind. We should have. Well, by the time the 5th one is out, we'll have recorded more. So never mind.
If you wrote comments in the past, we might address them in the future.
Well said. All right, I need to end this video. My brain is melting. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon. Until then, be optimal.